Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about more roster moves happening during the League of Legends 2023 offseason. So in this video, since there have been many roster moves happening during the League of Legends 2023 offseason, I thought to myself, you know what, just like I did with my previous video where I talked about all the Mad Lions current situation for this League of Legends 2023 offseason, and also in that video, as you guys noticed, and I mentioned in that video, I am going to be doing that more often if there's just so many roster moves happening where I can't just get to the actual roster move and then just make a single video about that. So that's also going to be the case with this video. A good amount of roster moves have been announced. And then in my next video, I'm going to be covering, TSM exiting the LCS, Carmine Corp entering the LEC, and then there's the Evil Geniuses and 100 Thieves layoff situation that's happening, as well as the Monte Cristo rumor where like the LCS contracts are going to end up getting restructured for 2024. So that's going to be that video. And then I also have, maybe you guys will have that video released to you before this one, but it's going to be a video based around, Gen G, turning over their roster, completely just overhauling it after losing to BLG during Worlds 2023. As well as, another solo video that I recorded on the Cloud9 podcast. I'll just clip that out and upload that for you guys. So a lot of content is coming out, as well as other content based around all of the hobbies that I love. Movies, TV shows, anime, streaming, comic books, manga, video games, all that stuff here, right? And also, as a shameless plug, make sure you guys follow me on Twitch and Rumble. The links will be in the description box below. And if you're on Twitter and Instagram, make sure you guys follow me on there as well. So let's start off this video with going over Cloud9. So as you guys know, for Cloud9, the roster right now is going to be, Jojo Pion, Berserker, and the next player I'm going to be going over as well. And because as you guys know, Sven announced he is not going to be with Cloud9 after spending, 4 years with them actually, which is pretty crazy. We don't really know yet if they're going to be actually keeping Fudge, which I don't think they should. I think they should just be retooling their entire roster and maybe even Blabbers out, because the only confirmed players is the new support I'm going to talk about after I talk about Berserker, and then just Jojo Pion. Getting Jojo Pion was absolutely an amazing move right there. I think it's going to be a big upgrade over a Menace, and I think it's going to have a huge impact on Cloud9 during the LCS 2024 season. So let's start with the first one. Berserker has verbally agreed to extend his contract with Cloud9 and will also be the starting AD carry for the 2024 LCS season. So yeah, Berserker, extremely talented AD carry, one of the best in the LCS as well. I mentioned this on the Cloud9 podcast also as well, is that you need to keep this guy. This is the guy you want to make sure you build your roster around. He's extremely talented, and you should definitely have a play style going into the LCS 2024 season that caters to making sure that you can play around him. You can also win games based around him, and he can also take care of himself in the bot lane as well. The next one here is support Vulcan has reached a verbal agreement with Cloud9 in the LCS. So as you guys know, Vulcan actually joined Cloud9 during the League of Legends 2019 offseason, actually, and he was on that legendary Cloud9 roster that ended up just stomping the LCS during the LCS 2020 spring split. They had an impressive record. They only lost one game in the regular season, that was to TSM, and they only dropped one game in the playoffs to Evil Geniuses at the time. He was on Cloud9 for quite some time until 2021 at the end of that year. He won multiple titles for Cloud9. I mean, Cloud9, until they had him, hadn't been winning titles at all for like 6 years. They were still competing in the LCS at top spots, but when Vulcan came in, they finally ended their championship drought. Now, Vulcan has this play style where if he's on his game, he is one of the best supports in the LCS. But lately, after his stint on Evil Geniuses, and after his stint, obviously, on, FlyQuest, he's been on the downward trajectory. I mean, maybe being back on Cloud9 will reinvigorate him actually wanting to play at a high level. I mean, we heard the stories that Vulcan and Sven didn't really get along as they kept playing together, for the years that they were playing together. So we'll see how he's going to function with Berserker. I mean, Vulcan was with another Korean ADC, Perkz, and that did not go too well. But keep in mind, Berserker and Vulcan might actually just complement each other a whole lot better. So having Josepion, Berserker, and Vulcan seems like to be one of the best bot sides in the LCS coming up for 2024. The next actual informational piece for this video is going to be a few months back. They already announced this for FlyQuest, but this is for anyone who doesn't know this right now. So AD carry Masu has reached a verbal agreement with FlyQuest. The 18-year-old rookie will be promoted to FlyQuest LCS team after a year in academy and will replace Perkz. Those are some big shoes to fill, as we know. And yeah, Perkz is gone. He announced he left FlyQuest shortly after FlyQuest did not qualify for the LCS 2023 Summer Split playoffs, actually. And the FlyQuest roster is really interesting because given how the entire year went for them, you really thought, in summer they could just get it together. They were predicted to be one of the best teams in the league, and that just did not end up happening. So they're going to be replacing Perkz with the Academy Canadian AD carry. Hopefully that can work out for them. I love seeing new guys come into the league and definitely showing off their skills and, building a name for themselves so they can also get on better teams in the future as well. People have always asked me, where do you think Perkz is going to go? I really don't know. I mean, maybe Perkz could go to Team Liquid if he wants to stay in the LCS, or maybe he just doesn't want to be here and he wants to go back to the LCK. I mean, the LCK could definitely use an AD carry of his talent. I think he had a downward split on FlyQuest overall, and I think he played worse as the year went by. Don't really know what happened to him, but you definitely do notice the talent in this player. So FlyQuest have a new ADC, and Perkz, we'll have to see where he ends up actually. The next piece of news here is Jungler Inspired has reached a verbal agreement with FlyQuest in the LCS for next season. So you guys remember Inspired? He was the jungler for Rogue. He came over to play on Evil Geniuses, where he, obviously won a title, went to MSI. He's one of the most talented Western junglers, in my own personal opinion. But he definitely struggled during the LCS 2023 Spring Split, and, Evil Geniuses chose to get rid of him after they lost to Golden Guardians in the playoffs of the LCS 2023 Spring Split for Armeo and Shiden, and that did not work, actually. And people kept wondering, a guy of his talent should definitely be on a team. And now he's going to be replacing Spica, actually, because Spica was on FlyQuest during 2023, and Spica has been a really overrated jungler, in my own personal opinion. I don't think he's that guy. Inspired, in my own personal opinion, is that guy, and I think them signing Inspired is actually pretty good. If they keep Impact, that makes that top side pretty strong. Impact and Inspired have definitely played together before, so you have some familiar synergy there, but that's really always hard to track with players who, leave and come back, actually. All right, so that's it for the LCS. This is going to be, the last two are going to be based on the LEC, and this should come as no shocker to anybody. This is based around Perkz, actually. Team Vitality has reached a verbal agreement with Perkz to part ways. Yeah, Perkz joined Team Vitality in the 2021 offseason after spending a year with Cloud9. Remember that $6 million buyout that Jack did for Perkz to get him off of G2? And it just did not work out for Perkz on Team Vitality. And, Team Vitality, that's a story in and of itself. But, Perkz had an extremely bad year of gameplay in the mid lane for the LEC. And it kind of makes sense that, Vitality would part ways with most players on their roster. And I really don't see any of the players they had on their roster really sticking together unless they really, really trust that, Photon and Bo are going to be a topside duo you can build around. But are they really going to keep Upset? I think they might keep Upset. I think that's the player you want to keep, actually. But even Upset brings in his own, fair share of issues as well. So with Team Vitality, you really never know what you're gonna get. Actually, it's always just flip a coin and kind of just see what's gonna happen with these guys. So, but yeah, like, do you guys really think Perkz is really gonna end up on a top tier LEC team? Like, and could he even like basically provide anything for a top tier LEC team? Like, I love Perkz, awesome. I imagine I've watched this guy literally ever since he was in the Challenger League, but it's just not that kind of player anymore, and he's definitely a liability in the mid lane as well. And the last informational piece we have here is Kaiser has reached a verbal agreement with Team Heretics to be the LEC support. So as you guys know, Kaiser started out Mad Lions, later on ended up on Team Vitality, and Kaiser looked like one of the best supports in Europe, but throughout these past couple of years, definitely been on a downward trajectory, not as strong as when he first came into the league actually. And this year, you could clearly tell that the players he was playing with did not complement his play style at all. You would think like a bot lane of like Upset and Kaiser would be pretty strong, but it was just anything but. Him with Neon was not good. The only player he's really ever played well with was Carzzy, which is pretty crazy, actually. He played pretty decently well with Unforgiven, so we're going to have to also see what's going to end up happening with Team Heretics. Like, what is their roster going to look like for the LEC 2024 season? So, yeah, that is all of the other roster moves that I have compiled for you guys. If there's any other random ones that I've missed in this video, I'll just add them to another future video. But yeah, see you guys later. Like, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I am MSK, Master Swag King, and I'm signing out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace.